Hey everybody, Gypsy Wolf, thanks for joining me. Okay, so this video is a bit off the cuff. I wanted to show you guys, for you beginner witches, how you can cleanse your working altar. Whether you use it to do your spell work, or it's just a place that you go to meditate, whatever it might be. There are many ways to do it. My way is not the only way, but I'm just going to teach you how I like to do it. Alright, so I removed everything from my altar. Now, the times that I think are best to cleanse your altar. You can do this every full moon if you would like, or every dark moon, totally up to you. But I tend to do it in between seasons, whether I change out my altar due to the holidays, the wheel of the year, or for seasons. It really depends. But I am redoing my altar, so it's time for me to cleanse it as well. So, first thing is first. Anything that you plan on putting back onto your altar, if you have a few items that you always keep on your altar, cleanse those first, okay? However you choose to do that, whether it's with, incense or, some type of blessed water, whatever it may be. Do that first. Then, anything that's going to be on your altar that's new, that can be cleansed, you want to cleanse that first as well. But don't put anything on there yet. Place that all to the side. Okay? Now, what I personally like to do is use a type of blessed water and clean my entire altar, and then I will also use an incense. Now, I'm going to go over all the types of waters you can use, the blends that you can use, and the different types of incense and smokes that you can use. Alright, so I'm going to try to go pretty far in depth with this. But not make it too long. Alright, so first and foremost, like I said, you will cleanse items that are going to go back on your altar, and then anything new. Alright, and you place it off to the side, and this is after you've taken everything off of your altar. Don't mind the bruises on my hands. I am not a crazy person. It's just, when blood gets drawn, I bruise very easily. Okay, so try not to look at that, please. Thank you. I'm going to be wearing gloves for a good portion of this. Alright, so the first thing I like to do, I have this little besom broom. Okay, now this I purchased, and it's just straw, but it smells like cinnamon. And I just kind of, because little bits and pieces do get trapped within, and I just kind of dust it off. Now, I'm only going to be showing you part of my altar, cleansing it, because I don't want to bore you. It'll take way too long to do the whole thing on video. Alright, so that's the first thing that you want to use. If you don't have one of these that you can purchase, which I got mine at Dollar Tree, they keep it where they normally keep the bags of potpourri, but you can just get some sticks from your yard and, tie that up with some yarn, thread, whatever, and use that. Very simple. And you can add in, maybe sprigs of rosemary, things like that. Whatever calls to you. Alright, so, you just kind of brush everything away. Now, you want to keep in mind, you're not just doing the top of your altar. Under my altar, now this altar that I have here, this is handmade. It was made for my parents for their wedding, and they gifted it to me. So you do want to keep in mind the type of material that you're going to be cleansing, because I've seen a lot of videos saying to use rubbing alcohol, and that's just not good for wood or things that aren't like cheapy cheap, you know what I mean? But I do have, if you can see it down here, there's like a whole area down here as well. This one's hard to get because there are lots of nooks and crannies. But you want to get every nook and cranny because we are removing all of any type of negative energy that may have formed. Okay, so the next thing, like I said, I like to use some type of blessed water. Now, what I'm personally going to use, and I'll show you the amounts, I'm going to use just a splash of vinegar in case there are any smells, whatever. It's just a good cleaning agent all the way around, okay? And it won't hurt the wood, and this does have a type of protective layer over it. I'm going to do a tiny, tiny splash of Florida water because I just love it for cleansing energy. It's got this refreshing, uplifting scent, but it does have alcohol in it. So, you know, keep in mind what you're cleaning. Okay, and then the last I'm using, I'll just be using a pinch of salt. If you don't want to use these items, there are other things that you can use. Let's say you can't use anything with alcohol in it. You could add a drop or two of lemon essential oil or eucalyptus essential oil. Those are really good at clearing away negative energies. You can add herbs if you want, but what I would do is steep them in there and then take them out, strain them, because you don't want to get little bits all over your altar. But if you choose to do that, you could use things like hyssop, rue, you could use lemon peel, rosemary, things like that. But this is pretty simple. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to put on my gloves, and I'm going to show you how much I put in. So I'm just using a basic little Tupperware container, and I use, the rags that I use are just an old t-shirt cut up. You know, I try not to waste and all that with lots of paper towels because my parents use enough for a small village. So, all right, and I do say a little something each time I add an ingredient. So, I add this vinegar to cleanse any negativity from all that it touches. And I just go in a counterclockwise motion because we're removing negative energy. Okay? Then we're going to put a splash of our Florida water in. Ooh, that was maybe a little more than I wanted, but that's okay. I bless and empower this Florida water to remove all and any negativity from all that it touches. Let it remove evil eye, curses, hexes, even negativity brought on by myself. Alright, and then any salt will do. Any salt, but you don't want to add a lot. It can ruin a lot of different surfaces. You know, what you would want to do is just Google, you know, make sure that you're good. Any type of salt will do, but I do prefer sea salt. So I'm just going to be adding the tiniest bit. And you want to use warm water here, guys. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just the tiniest amount. I bless and empower this salt to purify all that it touches. See, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just say a few little words and you're good to go. Now, another thing that I personally like to add, but it's completely optional, up to you. I'm an eclectic witch, but I practice hoodoo. I'm going to be adding a drop of my holy water. I just feel like it adds a little extra something. I bless and empower this holy water to bring blessings upon this altar. May it bring me all the prosperity, health, and happiness that I ask for. Amen. Okay, so that's simple. And like I said, I told you the other items that you can use, right? Right. So we've dusted things off. Now, for the incense, which will come next, you can use sage, which is very popular, but I don't care for the scent. I'll use that a good portion of the time, but I'm not using that today. You can use Palo Santo, you can use sandalwood, you can use myrrh, or frankincense. Those are the 5, so you've got a good amount. I'm using a incense stick that is frankincense and myrrh. So, I'm going to light that now and let that burn as I'm wiping things down, but I'm going to waft it over everything when I'm finished wiping it down. Alright, so let's go over this quickly, just so I can show you that you want to get into every nook and cranny. So like I said, just a piece of an old t-shirt. Okay. And the reason you want to cleanse your new items first and anything else that's going back on, I just feel like that way you're not mixing the negative energies that you're pulling up from your altar and placing it onto there. Alright. So it's just really simple, guys. You just start wiping things down like you would clean anything else. If you have candle wax on here, you want to clean that ahead of time. Okay, anything that just can't be simply wiped up. Notice how there's a groove in here. I'm going in between the grooves. And I'm putting some elbow grease into this. Okay. Look at the sides. You want to get everything. Don't mind my face. And make sure you put on your cleaning clothes. That's what I got on. I'm getting all here, all on the sides. You want to get underneath. Move this over here. There we go. You want to get underneath your table as well. Okay? So, get underneath. So it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world if you have a crazy altar like mine. Well, not crazy, but, you know, like I said, this has a lot of nooks and crannies. And so I just, after I wipe things down, I go back in with the water. Oh, sorry, my incense was going crazy there for a minute. I'm going to get the sides here. And I'm going to try and be quick so I can show you what to do next. But since I'm at it, I might as well at least get half of this done before we're done the video. Alright, and like I said, put in some elbow grease. And as you're doing this, I like to, I'm going to walk over here for a minute. I like to put on music that puts me in a certain mood. Some of my magical music, I have a playlist that I named Magical Music. And it reminds me that this is a ritual. And not just a basic, oh, I gotta clean sort of ordeal. You also would want to sweep and or vacuum around this ahead of time, okay? Before you do this cleaning. I know the angle of this video is horrible, guys, and for that, I do apologize. Alright. So, I did that quickly. I'm going to give it another good go after I'm done recording. Now, Once that part is over, you take whatever incense that you're choosing, like I said, sage, Palo Santo, sandalwood, frankincense, or myrrh, and I'm using a mixture of frankincense and myrrh, okay? And you're gonna wave it over in a counterclockwise motion again, because we are removing any negative energy. If you get ash on here, you just wipe it away, all right? Because we want to make sure this is nice and clean. And we walked underneath. You don't want to leave any stone unturned. Okay. So that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to show you very quickly how to properly cleanse your altar. And now, once you're finished cleansing the entire altar, that's when it's time to go ahead, put everything back on, decorate it how you would like, and that's that. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Yeah, and that's basically it. So we have a full moon coming up tomorrow night, so I hope you guys are prepared for it. I know I'm very excited. All right, guys, as always, mwah, blessed be.